Women in the Roaring 20s. Flappers. Extra credit video for APUSH by Allie Ridge and Carley Williams. In the 20s, gaining the right to vote and prohibition sparked a new lifestyle for young women across the country, especially in the more populous cities. In August of 1920, months after the Prohibition Amendment banning the sale and consumption of alcohol, women pushed harder for suffrage, or the right to vote. Carrie Chapman Catt, a feminist of her time who was an active member of the Women's Christian Temperance Union, led women to defeat 4 anti-suffrage senators in 1918, further pushing the issue of the lack of women's suffrage. As soon as women could vote, and as soon as they implemented their long, sought-after temperance laws, they evolved a completely different mindset than ever before. Some of these newly liberated women were known as flappers. They cut their hair short, wore their dresses short, drank copious amounts of alcohol, they smoked cigarettes, danced in scandalous new speakeasies or secret dance clubs, engaged in sexual activities outside of marriage, and pushed for equality among men. They burst out of their assigned spheres and broke into a new era of feminine freedom. Flappers were known for their individuality and trendsetting. They wore all the new clothing and spoke all the new popular sayings. Flappers wanted freer, shorter clothing, and they wanted clothing that represented their personalities. Flashy, expensive, or bright clothing began to be known as the norm for women in their early 20s, and in the early 20s. What was interesting about the flappers is that the definition of a flapper did not cover one social class of women. Girls in the lower classes would go dancing in dingier clubs, drink cheaper alcohol, and wear less expensive dresses, but that didn't have any effect on their attitude. Richer flappers were a bit more reserved in their behavior, especially wives from old money families, though they still began to stand up for themselves against their previously overbearing husbands. They would join in the drinking festivities and ask for a light for a cigarette, just as any man in the room might do. Fun fact: movies that have flapper girls, such as The Great Gatsby, portray flappers in varying lights. Sometimes they're shown as alcoholics and loose women, while at other times they are shown as free, glorified, non-fearing spirits with new lives. In reality, they were likely a mix of the two, ranging and depending on the individual woman. The Roaring 20s were a time of exponential growth in the name of women, especially thanks to flappers. From getting prohibition and temperance passed, to earning suffrage, to women being known for the never-before-seen rebellious flappers, the 1920s were truly a time of prosperity for women all over the country, setting trends for decades to come. Flappers sparked a new allowance for women, a new sense of individuality and self-reliance that we get to enjoy today. Today, we study flappers to remember previous social progressions, especially for women, who make up 50% of the population and continue to fight for gender equality.